Yonder, the Cloud Catcher Chronicles. Yonder is an open-world exploration game. There will be no enemies to fight, it's just you exploring an island that you've arrived at. The island is quite large, with different sections having harsher climates. The climate can change very quickly, from hot to snowy. It was crazy how quickly it could change. This game is very pretty. It's clear they took a page from Breath of the Wild in giving you places to explore and camera angles that will let you see the glory of the area around you. As you're walking through the environment, you're going to see question marks pop up on your map all the time. They can be anything from a new quest to things that you mine. You never know, and you're going to want to find out. Usually it was just a little bit away, and just what's one little detour? But that little detour ends up being a longer one because once you find that one question mark, two more pop up, and they're just a little bit away from those. So why don't we just check those out? I played this thing live on YouTube, and I constantly had the urge to find out what that next question mark could be. I'm sure it was annoying to see me wander off the quest just to see what some point of interest is, but it was just too addicting not to check out. As fun as it was to explore, it sure was a chore to actually play this game. Like for example, you come up to a tree and you want to chop it down. They're going to make you get out your axe and chop. It knows what you want to do. Why not just auto-equip it? Trading was even worse. You don't get gold in this game, you get items to trade with other people for other items. They tell you how much you can get for what you have, but you always have to set the amount of items that you want to sell, which is always set at maximum, which was just very annoying. There were fast travel areas, but these areas were not clear, and you had to find them. It's very easy to completely miss them, and you're going to have to walk 5 or 10 minutes to get back to where you want to go. There's a huge map that you can look at, and I wish you could use your map to set fast travel points. It would have made the game way less tedious to play. There are also sprites you need to find. In total, there are 26. They are essential to opening up new areas and pushing back the murk. The murk is a purple fog that is encompassing areas of the map and little sections. These sprites were often not clear on where they were. They would sometimes show up after certain quests, but even then you would have to be on the lookout for them. I went an entire hour not knowing what to do because I missed a sprite that I unknowingly unlocked from a quest. Then at another point, I stumbled onto 2 sprites in the span of a minute. The game shouldn't depend on the player's luck just so they can advance the little story this game has. Sometimes you would need different amounts of sprites to destroy different murk points. It would swing from like 13 to 6 in the same area. It just seems so random. Now there were many items that you can craft, from buildings to bridges to clothing and items. All sorts of things. The parts that you need to make them were often just sitting around the world, and you could quickly pick them up as you're walking to your goal. And that was one feature that I much appreciated. Time will go by quickly. Day will turn into night before you even know it. The seasons will change and you can go through a year cycle in the game. Now this title has a Harvest Moon type feel to it, with a farm that you can own and run. So you can play it that way if you want. Or you can go exploring. Or you can figure out what happened to your other shipmates who came with you to the island. The game doesn't care what you do or when you do it. It doesn't give you an energy bar or make you sleep. It just wants you to play it without you worrying about your character at all. Yonder, the Cloud Catcher Chronicles was a beautiful game. It was quite enticing to explore the world that they have laid out in front of you. There were a lot of things to see. It will reward you for exploring every nook and cranny of the world by giving you a collectible or maybe a hidden treasure chest. That being said, it was kind of frustrating to play sometimes, as some of the simple actions like using items or trading seemed to be more complicated than it really needed to be. This game is $29.99, and I can actually see that being a fair price for this. If you have a young child, they might really enjoy this game for the freedom of exploration, without the worry of dying. Your character will just never die. Even if you drown, since your character can't swim, it'll just respawn you very quickly. I do have some reservations on the way the game is controlled, but I think those are all things you could get used to. So I do think it's worth a buy.